Good evening, everybody. It's my distinct pleasure to welcome you this evening to the Nelson Carty Ford Memorial Art Gallery at WPAA Media Center. I am Josiah Houston. I'm the current artistic director for WPAA-TV and community media, and I have been charged with this amazing responsibility of taking the beginning that Nelson gave this space as a space for art and a space for exploration of different artistic visions and themes, and carrying it forward in the name and the honor of his own artwork and artists that remind us of his greatness and of his mission to bring art on the local spectrum to the community from all around and share it forward. The reason we have that big, beautiful tiger mural on the side of this building, and the same reason we've had this amazing collection of photographs here for the last several years that we're so honored to still have here, that we've tried to fill and decorate every nook and cranny of this space with artists that remind us of Nelson's nuance and of his passion. So thank you so much for being here tonight with us, for enjoying some delicious food, for sharing some stories, and for talking about what inspires us as we enjoy the space of the various walkways of WPAA-TV. Thank you so much.
It's a time to smile. It's a time to enjoy beautiful art around us. Expression. That's what art is, an expression of one's feelings, one's vision. Everything we see here. I think everyone who knows Nelson had the privilege and the opportunity to experience him and speaking with him and understanding his vision and what he meant. He'll be missed physically, but mentally and vision, he'll always be with us. I want to thank everybody for coming tonight and enjoy what you see.
Robin, Herb, and the extended Ford Jackson family, thank you for letting me share a few words with you and others gathered to honor Nelson. You may not know this, but studies have shown that retirees are happier on the weekends and on holidays. That might sound funny because essentially all you have is free time when you're retired. However, what studies have found is that weekends and holidays are also when other people are free, and that free time is more meaningful with connections. I think that's of note here because Nelson was a connector. He cared about the communities where he lived and set about to improve them, whether it be in service to the country, social justice, or Wallingford. Contextually, I think you have to recognize that he was working in an environment of exceptionalism, where many people around him had already been trained to believe that those communities already had the best of everything and could not be improved. So think about the persistence required for him to continue to believe in the duality of the great promise of these communities while also working to make them better. Amen. Maya Lin, the sculptor who designed the Vietnam Memorial in Washington, D.C., said, "To fly, we have to have resistance." Well, Nelson, you made it a heck of a lot easier for others to fly. I don't know if Nelson was religious, but I believe that the purpose of God is to make us larger, freer, and more loving individuals. In that way, I believe that God most certainly worked through Nelson. So as we say to a life well lived, rest in peace, let us also recognize that this was someone who lived in peace and insisted on a future that worked for all of us.
Having art in any space, let alone a community space, is super important, because what is art if it isn't seen or appreciated or broken down and explained or analyzed? Like, art is made to be seen, art is made to be felt, and it has to have a venue to do so. Though I never met the artist, Nelson, these pictures were hanging up when I was doing my work here. They were works that I saw every day and learned about, even without having like an expressed interest in it. They were just here, so the interest was kind of like already set for me. So that's another valuable thing about having art in a space, is that you don't know what you're going to discover until you discover it. It has to have a venue in order for it to be discovered.
Good evening, everyone. I'm sorry that I'm so emotional. I was extremely close to my father. I'm the only child, and he was always my hero from day one. I was born into an artistic home. We always had art on the walls, no matter which house that we lived in. There was warm apple pie that my mom would make and my father enjoyed with vanilla ice cream. And the first thing that we did after moving into a home, building our house here in Wallingford, was put art on the walls. I learned my talent from Nelson Ford, who was an astute student that hailed from Pear Art School. I don't care what they call it now, it was Pear Art School. 1963, I was a child, and I just remember all of the different artistic positions that he's had throughout his life, and always searching for a style. He would always confide in me, Robin, I've got to find my style. I said, Dad, you already have a style. He never realized that a style is a frame of mind. And I'm so, so deeply honored to have you all here to share this wonderful privilege of sharing artwork and ideas, broadening our community through diversity and inclusion, and just being wonderful in our town. I really appreciate each and every person for their thoughts, their prayers. Susan, you've been so amazing. She's had the privilege of knowing both my mother and my father. So I'm so honored to have her as a friend, and Herb helping with she and Kurt to keep the station going. It's a diamond in this community. And to have a small space dedicated to my father is just pleasing. I know that he and my mom are just looking down with lots of love. May this place always be a comfort and a joy to every artist, whether it be fine art, photographic art, visual art, three-dimensional art. It's all beautiful perspective. And once again, I just want to thank you all for coming and joining what's dedicated to my father. His name was Nelson Cartier Ford, and he was born in 1934 in Portsmouth, Ohio. He hailed here when he was 18 years old following his sister. He was the youngest child and the last to go. So they're all together now, sharing their artistic expression somewhere up there. So thank you for this honor and privilege. I appreciate you all.
It's been my honor and privilege to seek out work that Carty would love. Carty definitely was about trying to make the community more conversational and inclusive. This piece right here, Humankind both used it on a show for 4 years where we had a table with 5 seats and people just dropped in. They didn't know each other, they were perfect strangers. And at the end of that 4-year period, we kind of got interrupted by the pandemic, like most of life. And then it was harder to do on Zoom and it didn't have the same feel. And then so we want to bring that back in his honor as well. But when we talked about these pieces here and a few others that were part of this collection that we named Bricks Seeking Words, Nelson always said they weren't finished because he never figured out what words to add to the bricks. But everyone who saw them said they spoke already volumes and there were no words needed. The people who were watching and looking at them would fill in their own words. And so that's why Bricks Seeking Words is a powerful message, because that's what we do here. We seek to have words make a difference, and using art as part of that opportunity, including hopefully a full documentary of our friend Kevin here, being done by our camera guy, Solomon.
On the other side of the wall. when you have time.
So it's a wide variety of art. Susan Clenard's work you'll see here downstairs and upstairs. Amazing. I wanted to fill the whole building with her. I don't know if they ever met. I don't know if she ever met Nelson, but they would have really found a spiritual connection that is, she's amazing, and it's my privilege to have included her. And I know David knows her. She did a sculpture of a dear friend, and so the community of artists have kind of gathered around this project. We don't expect to have it's all a permanent gallery. When it's time for Nelson's pieces to leave us, this will be where we'll have some pieces transition in temporarily on a cycle. But until then, we're pleased to keep Bricks Seeking Words. And we're going to seek some more words. Would anybody else like to say a few as an artist who's part of the collection, or as a person representing the town that has always been saying we don't have any art in Wallingford? Hasn't that been true? We've been here with art for quite a while. Getting people to realize that has been a challenge.
That's why we have the new big signs out front. that
Did you notice the new sign?
Just that hopefully are visible from the street, because we're really trying to let people know that this building is here and there's beauty inside of it to explore and to make and to share.
That's how the money from Wallingford Center Inc. got spent. Charles, David, Kevin, anybody want to speak?
We're looking to do in this building and by building community in this town is just share with each other some of the things that make life worth enjoying together, right? So one of the great artists that is going to be in your experience this evening is a close friend of mine from the past who, when I saw the work he was making, especially during the pandemic, and was uploading it online, he's been an artist for 3 decades at this point, but I felt like the work that he was making was really connecting to the images of Nelson's that I had seen upstairs in the gallery that you'll see as well. There's one Nelson work upstairs, which is the Sistine Chapel reimagined, and it was this beautiful context of taking an image that you're very, very familiar with and replacing the iconic figures with figures of a different race, and having that same experience with that same work of art, but seeing it not from the perspective that you're used to or that you find to be common in what you're looking for. So if I was walking in and expecting to see the Sistine Chapel, I know what I'm looking for, and instead I see the exact same image replicated with two people of a different race. And when I saw Ayaba's work, looking at the civil rights movement and looking at the idea of taking the exact same situation and just changing the dynamic and changing the races so that you could see the experience of what that moment was in a new light with a new context. His work from that period that he was making during the pandemic really spoke to me and to us, and it really felt like that series would find a wonderful home here in Nelson's memory, keeping a tie to the same type of work he was doing of changing perspectives and moving the conversation forward. Oh my goodness, there's someone here ready to talk.
Everyone, I'm Marcel.
Hey, Marcel.
My great-grandfather, I'd always look at his artwork, and I'd always want to be just like him.
Nice.
My grandmother told me once that I used to watch over him like I'm the babysitter when he's supposed to be watching over me.
That's nice.
I love my grandfather because whenever I bring home work for him to look at, he always say I did a great job. and I'd want to be like him one day.
Thank you for sharing, Marcel. I'm sure, however you turn out, you'll be proud of you.
I'm not a public speaker in any sense of the word, but I'm honored that to be here, and I want to thank Wallingford Public Television and Susan for continually striving for the community. And yeah, give her a hand. A few years back, Susan approached me on having some photos put up and so forth, and she had seen my work, and I was honored. And when I come in and look at the photos on the wall, I kind of go, "You didn't take those. You're not capable of doing that." But when people say, "Oh, I love your art," and so forth and so on, I don't consider it, for me anyways, I don't consider it art. I consider it an awareness of what's around me. And I find it difficult to walk down the street and turn my eyes when the wall there shows what's out there. And once again, I'm honored to have my work displayed, my awareness displayed, and hopefully that when you walk down the street and you see someone, the word would be compassion. And make no mistake about it, there are a lot of charlatans out there. In my opinion, they're robbers, because there's people that are out there that are really in need, that these charlatans who have their signs, "Oh, God bless you, have a good day," and all that, "give me some money." They're taking money, and they're able to work, and they're taking money away from people who are really hurting. So in my opinion, they're thieves. Might be a strong word, but I'll use it. So once again, I'm honored to be part of the community, and have a great night.
I can honestly say that having spent as much time in this room with these photographs as I have, like, there's a strong reason why I texted my mom the other week, and I was like, "Oh, I saw the same guy that I've been talking about for 2 months. I haven't seen him. He's always in the corner. I haven't seen him for 2 months." I stopped by and I was like, "Dude, what happened to you? I've been worried about you. Like, I've got quarters in my pocket. Where have you been?" And he goes, "Oh, I had this surgery, X, Y, and Z." And he tells me this gross 3 sentences. And before he got through the end of the 3rd sentence, I was like, "That's so disgusting. Come on, let's go get groceries." And if I swear, like, as we're going and we're buying stuff for him to make burgers and so forth, when he goes back to the shelter, and I'm not saying this to feel good about myself, I'm saying this because I need you to know that, like, that moment happens because I spent a summer staring at these photographs, and now I talk to the people that I meet in New York when I walk by, and those photographs gave that to me, and I've met new people and I've made new friends that I worry about when I don't see them for 2 months, and then we get hamburgers, right? So thank you, and thank you for being a part of this community and this installation. Is there, if you want to take it home with you, I believe, what's the situation when it comes to donations? And there's always a big box out front for Masters Manna if you have donations that can be placed there and picked up regularly. We try to make the signage as clear as possible, but now hopefully the extra signage will make it a little easier for people to find. But these booklets of these wonderful photographs are available.
There's sound check upstairs so that you can enjoy 2 hours of music with our nonprofits in Wallingford being supported through the Great Give. I didn't see the first musician come in yet, so I'm a little worried about the itinerary, but they do need to do another sound check for the band. So thank you so much. And eat. Just treat it like a community meal. If you see something, grab it, whether it's wine. And we all source from local businesses that we buy from. We do not ask for handouts. This event is paid for by donations, and that's what our Great Give money is used for, to be able to have public events at no cost. So enjoy your evening. Let's go enjoy.
Before we get to go listen to some wonderful music.
Not just art, music,
Yes,
media.
Mia. Yeah.
It's a center for all of that. So talk to your friends, talk to everybody in the city. Take advantage of what we have here. Come down here and let the youth experience it so they can learn something. And maybe find an area in which they might be able to excel in and grow and be profitable later on in life.
We have our youth programs in the summer, right? And we also have our no-knock policy, which basically means this building is your building. You don't have to knock. Come on in, say hello, make something, share something, tell us a story. That's what it's here for.
President, Artistic Director, family, friends, thank you so much for joining us.
Come eat